Well, it's the 27th of September, and I'm here with Bobby, BC2 Dot, and we're over at True Poker. And let me bring that up on the screen real quick. Bobby, I see you right up here at the top of the screen. You just sat down with $200. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. You must have had a miserable hand.
I'd attend to.
So tell me how the week's gone. I know you've been traveling, right?
Yeah, I just came back from Chicago last night. I played a little online. I've tightened up my opening hands a lot. And I've become a little more aggressive on re-raising when I have a good hand. Uh, like, uh, a mid to high pair or ace king, ace queen, so suited aces. So tell me, what are we going to work on today, Al? Sharpen
Well,
my game.
are you folding this hand here?
No, I got a 9-3 of spades. I'm folding here.
I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you three or four get into a situation where you can read somebody and try to three or four bet. But I would prefer you be in position to try that than out of position.
Guess what? I'm on the button and I'm folding queen jack.
You learned
I have it. Every time I see a queen jack, I I see you sitting on my shoulder. I
saying
fold.
Hawaii, Hawaii, Hawaii.
Yeah, and I fold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this
you.
is this is a good situation here. For instance, you flop and you hit the queen in this particular shape because nobody raised. Well, there was a little raise pre-flop, but you don't know if somebody has the queen king. You don't know if they have the ace queen. You don't know, you know, if they have pocket kings, pocket aces,
Yeah.
and a lot of times you just come up short. It's just not strong enough hand in a lot of cases. But if you play it, you want to manage it and keep that pot small, and you want to flop bigger than just one pair. That's what you got to
So
keep in mind.
I've got an ace deuce offsuit, but a guy already bets 450. I'm just gonna fold. Three other guys behind me.
Right. Have you played it all since the last session where I sent you the video?
Uh, Not really. I spend maybe half an hour online here and there, but
You're mostly traveling, doing real business work, right? You didn't have time for this play stuff.
no. But Sunday, I'm going to the Hard Rock on Sunday,
Okay,
live cash game. They got a special $3,000 high hand on Sunday, all day Sunday.
that's nice.
So, see, we get lucky.
Yeah, especially when you're playing in those hands. Almost, any pair is worth seeing a flop as long as it's not crazy money, and any suited connector is because you could, or one GABA because you can flop into an open-ended straight flush draw or something like that, and it's they never say that you should go to a casino just looking for promotions like the bad beat and stuff like that because you're paying too much into it because you're not going to win it that often. But if you're going to go,
Pay much attention to whether I play my normal game,
yeah,
but
but
if you have to hit a high hand, like quad, something like that, it's worth a lot of money. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if you're gonna go, it's nice just to have that as an extra incentive. It's never bad to me. Now the guy that goes and sits there 5 6 days a week and grinds 6 to 8 hours a day, he's paying too much because he's paying for the promotion a lot of hands. So but the guy that goes casually to the casino once or twice a week or whatever they go and plays for 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours, you don't mind it because you still have a chance of winning something big, even if you don't have a good session.
so I've got a 10 jack offsuit on the big blind.
Okay.
Let's see what the rest of the board does here.
Okay. How
Yeah.
much are you willing to pay being in the big blind in that situation? That's what you got to ask yourself. Because I'm out of position and it's 10 jack off suit, what's going to convince me to throw this hand away? What kind of dollar amount is it? If the guy goes 450, sure, you're calling 250. But if it's
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, where's your limit? You need to establish where your limit is to what you're going to pay, knowing that your hand is not the greatest and you're out of position.
Right.
And it's important every time you're playing live or online is to think in those terms. As soon as somebody raises, or you're going to enter a hand or a pot, or if you're in the blind, is what can you tolerate? What can you stand in this
Right.
situation? And try to stay within. Of course, there's going to be some gray area sometimes, and you're going to step over that imaginary line. But you need to keep yourself in check. It's really important to keep yourself in check and not to say, "Oh hell, he bet $12, and if this is online, not live. If he bets $12 in a cash game where you're playing, you're gonna call with a pair of fours, that's for sure. But sometimes online, the $12 may be a little outrageous for you to set mine, knowing you're only going to hit it 7.5 to 1.
Right.
But when you're playing in a cash game live, even though the implied odds are still the same and everything else, there's more money at the table that you can dig deeper into. You know, most people say you have to catch 1 in 7.5, 1 in 8 times to get your money back. Dave Romer, who's a good friend of mine, he goes by the name of Hitman. He's a poker coach over at Poker Stars. He says you really need around 12 to 1 in pot odds because there's going to be times that even when you set mine and you hit your set, you're going to get beat by a bigger full house or a flush or a straight or even a bigger three or kind. This morning I flopped a set of threes and the guy turned a five. He had pocket fives and he wound up beating me, 3 5s over 3 3s.
I had a bad beat the other day. I had a pair of threes. I entered the pot,
Huh?
and the flop came 8-5-3. So
Yeah.
I made a pair of threes.
Yeah.
I bet heavy. The guy kept calling, and on the river, there's a queen on the river. He's got pocket queens. So, you know, set over set.
Is this online?
Yes, online.
Okay. Well, first off, when you're online like that, if you always put yourself in the other shoes. If you have a pair of queens and the flop comes 8 5 3, you're not thinking about somebody having a set. You're thinking about yourself having an overpair on the board. There's nothing going to hardly anything's going to slow you down, right? The only thing that's going to slow you down is if a king comes or an ace comes, or maybe if the top, let's say it was 8 5 3 and you stayed with the guy and then another eight came. That might slow somebody down thinking you stayed with ace eight or something like that. So,
I just got onto the nine-handed table, so I'm going to exit this table and go
okay.
to.
And you're right there. I got you right up on the screen already. Good. Um, so what I'm saying is, if you put yourself in the other person's shoes, unless it's some huge bet, they're not going anywhere unless I guess a scare card comes on the turn. Since there was no scare card on the flop, that's pretty dry with an 8 5 3, knowing that you called his raise pre-flop. I'm sure he raised with his queens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, on the turn, depending on what the turn card was, you might have been able to go higher and maybe push him off. But you don't really want to push him off, do you? He's got two outs. He's got one card to come. That's 2 times 2. That's a 4% chance of beating you. That's it. 4%. He hit the card that beat you. That's 4%. You're going to win 96% of the time. So you don't want to fold the guy out. It just happened that way, and the software favored him.
All right, I got Queen Jack suited of spades in the big blind.
Again, you say yourself right now, depending on the position of the person that bets and what they bet, what are you
Yeah.
willing to call? That's a modest raise.
So I'm going to call.
But now your second thing you have to say, I'm going to call, but I'm out of position and my cards aren't that strong. What do you do when your cards are not strong and you're out of position?
Okay, so we flopped a queen 4-6. All right, I'm going to check and see what he does.
Check raise is a good option. He's going to fire as a continuation bet unless he's got kings or something like that, and that's a chitty bet.
So,
Nine or ten. It should have been about $9 or $10. 3 times his amount. Maybe 4 times because you're out of position. Every time you're out of position, you can add a little bit to it. You made it more likely for him to throw this away. You get what I'm saying there?
Yeah, so
Check,
it's game over. Yeah.
check raise out of position really works. It makes them think you got a more a stronger hand than you really do have. A raise and a re-raise. And you got
I got king two
okay.
offsuit.
Okay. Now the guy in the early position that made it four, let's put him on something good. I was just gonna say, and the guy that just min raised him in the back position, you got to put him on wanting him to stay in. So he's got
Yeah.
queens or kings, this tatty guy, and the
Yeah.
guy up front could have
Up front guy
aces.
went all in. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have aces or even jacks, and he just
Yeah, I'm folding. I got a 9-2 suited. 9-2
okay.
of diamonds.
Okay. What was the most important thing that you noticed on that last hand that was critical in the decision for the player that went all in at 322 XXX? What do you think his most important criteria was?
I think what he probably had a very strong hand, and he figured if the other guy thinks he's either bluffing or if the other guy has an equally strong hand, he may just call or pay him off.
Okay. My opinion, and for those that are viewing this, like yourself, Bobby, is look at the money that Taddy had, his opponent. He
Yeah,
only had $51. So
exactly. So he's not risking much.
he's
So
not risking much, even if he had jacks or ten. But he's getting fold equity by going all in and saying that guy, if he doesn't have aces, he's going to fold to me. So
yeah.
he bought that possibly from that guy, knowing that it was only going to cost him another $51.
By the way, okay, I got ace queen here,
Okay,
ace of hearts, queen of club. I don't like these guys like Taddy. Sit down with such a short stack, and they're looking for one good hand to go all in.
this
And
is true, but he might have sat down with 200 and has been losing for 2 hours
yeah.
and doesn't have a backup plan. Okay, it's heads up. He calls one opponent.
Sharks. I'm gonna bet the pot here.
Yeah, I like the full pot on the continuation bet. Absolutely.
Got a 6-7 offsuit.
Okay. So again, when you're play, I'm really trying to bring in your live play. You really got to know who's got shorter stacks at the table, who you can take some liberties with. Like this guy here just took liberties with Taddy. So it's always good to keep in mind what people have, and not only in front of them what they bet, but what they have, what we call behind the rail or behind. That's the same min raise he did when he went all in. He's a Russian Federation guy. You got a Canada, U.S., Israel, U.S., Siberia, Ukraine, Hungary, and Ukraine. Okay? Okay, let's see if he follows up with his continuation bet. Let's see if he goes low or if he goes $6. It's pretty low, isn't it? That's a quarter of the pot, and he took it down.
Well, we got pocket queens here, Al.
Okay. Talk me through the whole thing.
Well, I'm hoping somebody bets and somebody raises, re-raises before it gets to me.
Okay? This is the guy you want in there, Taddy, because you can isolate him. This is the guy you want to go $8. Ah,
Okay, I'm going to do full pot raise here. Where is 224?
Myself, yeah, 24 is good. Anything from 21 up to 24, 25 is good. Three times, always think of it as three times. Now you're hoping he has an ace jack here, not, you know,
Okay.
pocket jacks.
Go full pot and see what happens.
Now, if I had ace jack there, would I go all in? Yeah, he can't do anything there. Some people would say, did you leave money on the table then by going that big and forcing him out, or should you went small? That all depends on whether or not you have any kind of notes on the type of player it is. You had justification. You had two hearts on the board. He could have had a jack, and he could have made two pair.
Exactly. With two hearts on the board, and he did call, so he's got something. I don't want to take a chance of giving him a cheap free card to make a flush or get another jack. So
Okay, I'm gonna again. One of my themes when I will work with you is I like to repeat a few things. When when a person raises in front of you, they normally have big cards or big pairs. They usually don't raise generally going for a flush. He could have had absolutely ace ten of hearts. He could have had two hearts with an ace higher up. He could have had those, but more likely he had a mid pair or he had a stronger ace or something like that. He played it that way. I just didn't play him to go for a flush in that situation. So sometimes he had the spade guy had a free roll there, and or no, he needed a spade, didn't he? He wasn't tied. Let me hear those cards that you're throwing away. I want to hear them, okay?
yeah, I just threw away 4 or 5 offsuit.
Okay. Now, if it's 4 or 5 suited, what I'm telling you is you're going to mix in between 12 and 18% of the time. You want to come in with a raise. A lot of times, if the table is too aggressive and you're going to get re-raised, you don't want to have that being out of position. Then, of course, you do it less often. But every now and then, if you're always coming in with ace king and ace queen and pocket queens, pretty soon they're going to catch on to that, and they're not going to give you any action. So you have to create action and play a couple of those other types of hands.
Okay.
So that's a strong bet there into the flop. It was at least 3/4, and this guy comes over the top. Now this guy would not come over the top, in my opinion, with a set, but he would come over the top with a flush draw like ace king of diamonds or ace queen of diamonds, or he's got an over pair, which is more likely like kings or something like that, or jacks. He went more than 3 times and he took it down. So not only do you have to look at the bet size, you have to look at the texture and then determine what would I do if I hit a set there, or how much would I bet if I had an overpair, and try to put you into that own situation.
So I've got a queen 7 offsuit.
Now the game that you're going to play on Sunday when you go to the Hard Rock, will that be a 2-5 or a 5-10?
Both. If 2-5, they have many tables, so I'd probably start with 2-5. And in the afternoon, if they get a 5-10 game going, and depending on who is at that table, I may jump that game. Because
Okay.
I know most of the people who play 5-10 out there, and if there are a couple of the Russian, Eastern European pros out there, then I probably won't sit down at the table.
Okay.
If it's weekend middle-aged regulars like me that I know, then I'll sit on 5-10 table.
Remember this though, when you're playing a 2-5, if you're at a juicy table and you're winning a couple $1,000 at a table like that, there's no need to go to a 5-10.
I agree.
just stay, enjoy, take what you can from the table, and you always can go to a 5-10 another time. There's no hurry to get there if you're at a great table.
Right. You know, there are 2 5 tables out there. If it's like there probably are 6 tables, so I've got to get onto the right table, the right game.
Yep.
I know most of the people out there. But if I get into a table where there's just a bunch of nits, guys uh, that are very tight, and it doesn't suit my game or my advantage, then I'm probably not going to sit at the table.
Good.
But if I see a couple of wild guys, loose players, I will definitely try and get onto that table and see what happens.
Good for you. And try to get to the left of them.
Yeah, always, always.
When you do happen to be seated to the right of them, that's when you want to employ not betting your hands as solid that you want them to re-raise you. So you want to trap them. You want to give them a false sense of security. You want to make inappropriate bets light so that they can 3 and 4 bet you and you can come back over the top. So you have to work that out in your mind as what you want to manipulate them to do, knowing that they're going to take certain actions if you take a certain action.
Ace 10 of spades on the button.
Ace 7 of spades.
Ace 10. Ace 10.
Ace 10.
Yeah.
My poker English is not so good.
My enunciation is probably not so good. This guy bet $6, so he's got a decent hand.
So here's an opportunity on the button with a decent hand to. We were talking about what we're going to work on today with 3 or 4 bet. Here we got an opportunity. If he came in for 6 that far away from the button, I would say he has something pretty decent. He's either going to call or re-raise. I don't think he's going to fold in that situation.
He calls.
Right? Queen King would be in his wheelhouse, but he checked.
Okay.
You're telling him you got ace queen or better. He's going to tell you, I believe you. Because what? You 3-bet him, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. Is not only do you put them on the defensive right then and make them decide whether to call, fold, or re-raise, you get them on the next street, or when the flop comes or the turn comes, you get them in a position that they don't like to be in. Out of position, not knowing if they're ahead or not. The only way he stays there is if he had a queen or if he had a bigger pair. So, your chances of winning are good even when you miss. Okay. Check. Half pot bet about. He calls. The 3rd diamond comes off. He's taking more time this time. Now he can bluff this by betting 22 into him. He doesn't, or he can check raise. That guy didn't want no part of it there. So I would think that no lucky up there might have overcards. Although the 10 might, if he had king queen, it could give him the straight, but more likely ace king or ace queen. Probably would not the diamond, because he would have bet the turn unless he made the flush on the turn. That's pay me off money right there. If you want to see what my cards are, call me. Pair of 4s is not good. The 10 comes on the river for him. So.
But ace 8 of diamonds.
Okay. So no lucky up there. Could have played that completely different and fired. And the pair of 10s because of the big cards on the board, couldn't have stood the heat.
No, lucky bet 7. He's got a good solid hand. I got an ace 8 of diamonds.
Yeah, I'd rather yours have been $21, $22 here, but it's okay.
Okay. Middle pair. He checked.
That's a good flop. Now, you've got to notice you made a bet then of 42. He had 72 left. You left him but two choices, to go all in or fold there. All right?
9-4. Question for you. Is it better to play on a 6-handed table or a 9-handed table? What's the math behind it?
The math is that you're going to pay more online per hour at the six-handed table because you're posting blinds faster. There's six spots, but always one is either locked up for somebody sitting out, or the seat's empty and you're waiting for somebody to sit in and they're waiting for the blinds. So you're really playing effectively five-handed. Now, depending on your style of play, see, I think you match up better here for what we're doing right now and talking and going through things. But if I was you later on, because you play more aggressively than I play, for instance, you're better served at the six-player table because you can open up your range a little bit more. But the downside of that is people see that and also they're doing the same thing, and you get caught up in situations. I think here at the larger table, there's a tendency for people to play a little bit straight up, a little tighter, giving you the advantage of running over them with your bets as you've been doing since you sat down. I don't think you get that same opportunity at the six-player table because people will fire back at you and not believe you on your bluffs or your continuation bets and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And how does one best deal with if I have an aggressive, devious European pro on my left who's constantly raising, re-raising? Uh, how does one effectively deal with players like that?
Well, I do two things. One, I ask for a seat change to try to get one that opens up on his left if it's possible. But if not, what I try to do is see pots that can flop very big. So pair of eights, a 9-10 suited, things like that. But if I know he's going to raise everything, I might just put in a small raise. Let's say you're playing 2-5. Maybe I put $12 in, knowing he's going to go to 30. I'm willing to pay the $30. I'm not going to call in front of him because he's going to know I'm trying to set up a trap. He's going to see. He should be able to see that. If he doesn't, then just limp in and see what he does. Don't put money in to make the pot bigger so that his raise is bigger. It'll cost you more money. But you got to trap that player. You just have to sit and wait and get a good hand, because when you go in with ace jack, as you normally might do in a, he's going to go 67, you go 25, he's going to go 67, and then all of a sudden you're calling out of position and you only have ace jack. It's not that great a hand unless you really connect, and if you hit the ace, and if he happens to wake up with ace king, ace queen or something like that, you find yourself losing your whole stack to him. Or if he's that wild, he might be playing something like 8-7 offsuit and hit an 8-7, and you hit a jack and you think you're ahead. It's very tough playing these guys with random card selection.
All right, so I've got a king queen here. The guy before the button bet $5. No lucky, raised it to 18. He's got $54 behind him. King queen. I'm gonna play this hand at 17 and see the flop.
Okay, I would have folded this hand in a heartbeat. Even ace 3 is a 58-42 favorite over you. Just an ace reg is a favorite over you. And you're out of position, and you know he's going to dunk the rest of his money. I would have just let him go pre-flop. That would have been my choice. Yeah, I knew he was going to donk his money. And if he has any ace, he's way ahead. If he has any pair, he's ahead of you. You got 4 outs in the deck. You got 16% chance. Maybe if you hit a king or queen, you might win if he had, let's say, ace 10 or something like that. But, those are doubts. They're not actual outs. We don't know if they're going to work or not. I think when you see that happen, and especially since you're out of position and it's queen, king offsuit, it's just throw it away. It's just don't get involved in that hand. It's just a waste of my money. You got to really hit king, queen, or you got to hit, you know, jack 10, ace, or, jack 10 and get an open-ended straight draw. Worst thing that can happen is you get a gut shot, and then the guy does. You justify it by saying, "Well, he's only got 54. Well, I'll go ahead and see if I can spike a inside draw," which is crazy. It's not. That's gambling. That's not poker.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing else you could have done there, I don't like the call. The call is the least of all the choices. I like the fold. I like the re-raise there. In other words, you could have re-raised him and put him, instead of going 17, you could have went 56 or whatever he had and put him to the test. Then you get the fold equity. In other words, if he's just screwing around with pocket threes or pocket fours or something like that, you can
Right,
you can push him out or get him to coming against you and then take that race.
right.
But the call is not on my radar for that position and that situation.
Yeah, I got to work on this. I call far too much instead of re-raising.
Yeah.
Re-raising would probably be a lot more effective than just calling.
If do you have a copy of my poker journal, right?
Yes,
I
I do.
sent it to you. And on every page it says raise more than call, fold more than raise. Every page says that. So you want to be raising or folding most of the time, and when you want to raise, you want that to be a lot less than your fold. In other words, um, you're going to fold more often than not.
Yeah, yeah, I got to work on that part of my game instead of calling, raising more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to put $17 into that pot, then you might as well get the advantage of making it 60 or 65 bucks and making him decide, does he want to put it in then? Not Don't let him see the flop or anything else and then decide.
All right, we've got ace king here, ace of hearts, king of spades.
Okay.
Has you beat bet $6, and
Okay. Now remember, now anybody else that comes in other than has you beat has got to have a strong hand because they're facing a raise and a re-raise. Don't discount what anybody does coming in here, especially in the blinds. He got a call from the button, so he feels that has you beat's going to call and give him the pot odds to stay in here.
but
So
seems to me that
he's set mining.
yeah,
2 or less people.
yeah,
It's a good 3/4 bet.
he calls, so he probably has a high pair, not aces. Probably the high. Okay, they both stay in the game.
So you don't have any drawers, you don't have nothing.
What do I do? What's the best move here?
If you have to ask yourself the question, then you know what the answer is. Correct. I would say that this guy, new ATM, has got like sevens, eights, nines, something like that, overpaired to the board. That's why he stayed.
All right. So 2 pairs on the board.
Yeah. So now we'll see if the first guy bets. Yeah. Yeah. What would he have? He made. Remember, he made the initial raise of 6 and then called. So I'm going to put him on 9s or 10s, and I'm going to put new ATM on maybe pocket 6s. You're beat either way. It doesn't matter. But I just like to see these two hands. Come on, call him. $88. You got 141. If you got a pair, you got a call here. Come on. The longer he thinks, the more likely is he's going to fold.
Maybe ATM was an ace king too, or ace king, ace queen.
Don't know.
He called, he didn't re-raise.
Yeah, when somebody calls, it's usually like a suited ace or it's a pair and they're set mining it. It could be something like Jack 10 suited or something like that, but more than likely it's not. It's more on the other avenues. And he wouldn't have stayed with those other hands. We don't get to see either one of them. That guy pulled off a bluff. See him sitting out like now?
Yeah.
He might have pulled off a bluff there. Either way, he was going to pick up his chips and go, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, when you're facing two opponents like that, you're going to continuation bet. And if the turn, they both stay, the turn card's in the blank where it helps the board, it doesn't help you. It didn't give you even a back door, you know, a runner, flush draw or anything. You didn't have anything other than you could hit an overcard. You really don't, you know, firing that bullet at that point is going to be up to you on your feel for the two opponents. Will they go away if you go all in? But you're not going to get them out with any kind of a continuation bet other than an all in, and that's iffy, you know. So why waste the ammunition?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, certainly some people very capable of doing that, but after two cards like that, it's just two people stick around. It's not likely they're taking off.
Two, four of spades. And a weak bet from Panda Evil. Do we raise?
Yes. I haven't seen this guy bet one time. Have you remember him betting anything?
No.
He's from Greece. He's pretty new. He wasn't at the table earlier when I went around the table. I don't remember Greece being there, so maybe it's just because he's new to the table.
Hi, baby. I'm in the middle of my lesson with Al. No worries. Okay, all right. See you. Bye. That was my lovely girlfriend. I got a 6-7 offsuit.
All right. Second hand in a row. He is new and he's indicated he wants to mix it up. Check. This bet should be around the $8 mark. Huh? $9. Good. Check. Check. Didn't like the second ace. Panda is going to bet 22. 16. A little light, but he wanted to get paid off. Yeah, as soon as that guy checked that time, he just told me, take it away from me.
8-3 of clubs.
If you happen to get an early position and you pick up a big hand, I want you to, if you don't mind, try limping in the pot and setting a trap and see if you get one of these aggressive players to re-raise you. Just
All right.
remember, you'll be out of position, so you want to re-raise a little bit more than normal.
Yeah, will do. So I got pocket kings. Let's see if somebody plays.
Yeah, just whatever you do, don't be fast because you don't want to indicate the strength and speed of your bet.
$7. Raised by no lucky.
Yep. I would have said 20 would have been fine. 20 to 24 is okay. With pocket kings, you don't want to price them out.
All
Now,
right. So the button raises to 51.
we talked about this once before.
I'm going to make the decision very easy on myself.
Well, he's going to call with aces. Nope. He's dead meat. He's dead meat. In a lot of situations like that, when you get re-raised like that, sometimes what we talked about before, because you're out of position to him, and you still have a good hand, and you want to get more money. You happened. Most of the people with ace queen there would just fold it, but see the flop and make sure there's no ace on the flop. And with the king on the flop, if you'd even checked the flop, he'd have pushed all
That's
in
it.
trying to steal.
I've got a pair of sevens here.
It was a great flop for you having a king, no ace.
Yeah. Pair of sevens. New ATM raises. I'm going to call.
That's right. He's out of position. He's stronger than you. You're set mine, and he's got 176 behind. You needed to hit a 7. You would have got all your money back if you hit it. He's going to bet. No, he bet light.
I'm going to call. See another card.
What?
I'm sorry. I,
Bobby. The call button got to be disabled. That was the raise button or the check button. It was not the call button. Now you let him see another really good card. He's got to go all the way now. Bobby.
I screwed up there, right?
When you watch this video back, you're gonna see what we just talked about. Forget that call in that situation.
All right, Al, I got pocket aces here.
You're on a heater now. And there's no way they're thinking that you've got this many good cards, so go ahead. Make sure you bet. Hurry. Yeah. Matter of fact, sometimes when I go on a heater like that, when I get something really good like that, I even overplay it. I even go 20 or something. I want them to, just like this guy, I want them to think I'm stealing. You know what I mean? So you got options here. All right. You could call. You could go all in. You could min raise them. You got the best hand. You know you got the best hand.
This guy's he's only got $161. He's re-raising on top of my raise.
Uh huh.
So let's go all in and see if he's gonna call.
Okay. I would have went like 80.
He went all in. I knew he was gonna go all in. Ace King.
Bingo! You ripped his ass open. Well, you did have 4 nice hands in a row with very favorable flops. Are you playing this one?
Yes, I've got King Jack.
You can't get your breath. You're playing so many good or getting so many cards to play. And these guys are seeing a couple of hands. They got to see that one, so they know you're not playing with crap doing these raises, so they're going to give you a little bit more respect. So the guy that does come over the top of you, if he does, he's got to have something to do that. Yeah, see, that was respect there.
Now I've got Ace 7 of diamonds.
Okay.
I'm gonna raise this guy.
Okay. These guys are pulling their hair out right now. And I can't even get back to talking about the aces hand until you're out of a hand because you're getting so many cards. This is cute. Watch out for the guy that tries to come in here and squeeze you on out of here. There might be somebody that picks up a big hand here and just says, screw this, I'm going to make a big ass bet. Sonic's thinking about it, huh? Nope. Yeah, we don't want to see you do reverse tilt and think that just because you're hitting everything and you're getting good cards, you want to get back the money.
I'm focused on my cards. I'm very aware of it. Go poker thinking, okay. Lucky calls. Ace King. Diamonds.
Yeah, he can only go all in here, and then the other fold. So, yeah, it was the right bet there. He's just forcing him to make an action there. Okay, on the aces hand, when the guy is behind you and he re-raises you and everybody else gets out, you have the option of calling, which I don't recommend. The option of min raising, which is pretty decent, or a little bit above the min raise, or going all in. You chose the all in. Most people that see a raise and then a re-raise and then an all in, they put you on the aces or kings. Then they fold hands like ace queen offsuit that he had. So you lose money in most of those situations.
Right.
You want to keep him in the hand, but price him in so that he has to still pay to see that flop to see if he's going to hit the ace. So my own thought is, instead of he made it, I think he made it like 39. Do you something like
Yeah,
that?
he made it a 39. I had 17. He made it 39, and he had 131 left.
Right. So he made it 39. I would make it then like 90, and then that forces him to put the 90 in to see the flop, or to put it all in there, trying to take it back. Okay. You have options. You just have to play it that way.
A weak raise by no lucky. I got King 6 of diamonds.
It's $2 for 10. It's 5 to 1. It's an automatic.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, I'll fold. Thank you.
See, no lucky's playing at a big disadvantage with that short stack because people can bully and people can force him. See, they can
Yeah.
force his action either out or all in. Queen three is crapola, and he
Or
hits the three. Oh, oh, oh. That's terrible. But if you're a panda, you want that all day long.
yeah, a panda's getting pounded. He getting bad beats.
Oh yeah, he's $500-600 easy that we've seen him lose.
I got 5-8.
I don't know what about these little short raises. I don't get that. It's just inviting trouble. Although 3-2-2, last time he did the small raise, the mid raise, he got somebody to come over the top of him, and then he forced the guy. He was setting him up on a trap.
If I could make 3 times my buy-in at a 5-10 table, I'd be very happy. 6-8 offsuit on the button. $5 raise.
That's good enough. Uh-huh.
If it was suited, I would have played. I would have raised it.
The next time you're not in the hand, let me know.
Yeah, I'm not in this hand. 8 queen.
Okay. I want to put your thinking cap on right now and think of the hands that you played during this session. Which hands did you make mistakes on? Don't have to be exact, just kind of what you didn't do or something.
Well, the hand where I had a pair of sevens, I should have raised.
Yes, on it. Yes,
And
you
that's
should
what,
have re-raised. Yes,
yeah. And also the hand that I played with King Queen
yes.
in front of a re-raise.
That should have been a raise or a fold. Yes.
Two mistakes I can think of.
Okay.
What else?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. What else did you play that was wrong, or possibly wrong? I'm trying to think real quick that you lost a hand. Where did you lose that? Oh, the ace. You didn't play it wrong. The ace king of hearts, and that you just couldn't get anybody out, and you had to just
Yeah.
check fold that one out. That's going to happen when you're playing aggressive and you miss, and you got people that aren't going away. That's just going to happen. But keep it in mind when you play the video back. See if there's anything else that you possibly could have done a little different to get more money, or the whole idea is we don't want to leave money behind. If there's money to be had, we want to get you the maximum amount in every pot that you're in. And so when we leave money out behind or at the table, it defeats the whole purpose of playing. We want to get max value.
Yeah. Okay. We got 5-6 suited diamonds.
Okay? So you're going to play it like it's ace king or pocket kings.
Yeah.
Okay. A limp.
Raise.
Yeah, just hit the pot button there. That'll figure it out for you really quick. Now, what do you think he has that he's limping there? Is he limping with a big pair hoping to re-raise, or you think he's limping
Exactly.
with
Yeah,
some?
that's what I think he's trying to do.
You think so? I'm going to put him on something like 10 jack, 9-10 suited, maybe ace deuce suited, and that's where I'm going to stay. Maybe even a pair of deuces. Those would be my four.
He calls. So we got two pairs here, 5-6.
Mm-hmm.
So let's find out if he has a flush or how close to a flush he is.
Gonzo. Yep.
Ace 10 of spades again.
You know they're expecting you to raise. Did you know that, right? Uh-oh.
He got a raise.
He didn't waste no time jumping in on it either, did he?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Now I'm waiting for the gold pokers.
I know, but what are you doing when it's your turn?
I'm calling
Okay?
because I got ace 10 of spades. He probably has a big hand.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the flop here. Okay. You got a pair of tens. Let's see if he has an overpair or ace king, ace queen. Okay. Uh,
When you're out of position, if you check, you give the opponent a chance to continuation bet. Here, if he missed with overcards, he could go away, and you get no money. It's a great card. That's a great card for you.
We got two spades on the board. Right. You called. Okay.
Right, you know he's not going anywhere. Well, he took a shot with overcards more than likely there and didn't get it. But again, if you checked either the flop or the turn, he probably put the rest of his money in trying to steal it from you, thinking you missed.
We got ace 8.
Offsuit,
Offsuit.
leak. Ace 8 is a leak. Best thing that can happen for you here is somebody re-raises or the ball folds. You don't want to be out of position with that hand.
Yeah.
That's why they call aces and eights dead man's hand.
Queen 9.
So again, when you're out of position and you hit like top pair with that ace 10, if you really want, and the board is very dry like it was with the 10 being the highest card, you think your opponent more than likely has overcards because there's 16 combinations of ace, king, ace, queen, for example, rather than them having queens, kings, or aces, less combinations. You want to check a lot of times and let them put money in on a continuation, just like you would continuation bet if you missed. Let them do it and then snap over them. Small blind attack, gotta be a big hand.
Yeah. I know we're a little over an hour here, Al, so I'll play the button and then we call it a day.
Well, want to play around to your big blind?
Sure.
Sure. Just hit the button over on the side that says sit out big blind, and we'll
Okay.
get you're paying for all these hands. You might as well take them all. We'll play it all the way through. Only if you promise me not to play Queen Jack at the end.
I haven't played a single Queen Jack hand.
Yes, you did. You played one out of the small blind earlier. Queen Jack suited,
Yeah,
spades.
yeah, Queen Jack suited, but only because it was suited.
And you hit the queen,
Yeah, yeah.
and you won the hand.
Yeah, only played because it was suited because
No,
possible.
I'm just pulling your leg. I'm just
Yeah, right.
giving you a South Florida yank.
So 7-10 of spades, two
Okay.
gap.
All right. I would say 2 months ago, you're in this hand even if somebody raises. I would say 2 months ago, you were definitely thinking, man, I might just be able to get 8, 9, Jack.
Yeah.
Or 6, 8, 9. Or 3 spades. Uh-oh. What happened then? Oh, the table went away, came back. Didn't get to see what happened. It looked like it disconnected for a second. Did you hit the button for sit out next big blind?
I will
Okay,
after I fold.
no
Okay.
problem. Whoa!
That's a scary board.
Well, I mean, what are the chances of either one of them having the jack here?
Yeah.
Neither one of them with the jack's going to bet.
Yeah, but either one has a pair, pocket pair, is going to bet.
Well, you got to find out right here on the turn
Hmm.
if the other guy's got something or not. Like this guy here should. That's
Yeah.
right. $6, $7. See if Panda stays around. No, he's not. I guarantee you, if No Lucky had the jack, he would have showed it. He's that kind of a player. He would
Yeah.
have showed the quads to show his hand. It's been a very productive day for you, my friend.
Yes, it has been.
A couple of big hands from Panda is the devil.
Yeah.
See, at some sites, they allow, I don't know if this site, if you can click on him and make him a friend. In other words, I don't know if there's a place on here to make him a friend. So a lot of people at some sites will make certain people that they want to play against their friends. So we come on to a site in the lobby. Usually there's find a friend. In the lobby there's a drop down menu and just find a friend, and you could put the name in there, or the names of all your friends come up and you could pick. You could find out what table they're at, and then you could go to that table. Instead of picking your friends that you like to play with, you pick the players that you want to play against
This
that are
guy,
bad.
Panda, I've seen him on all the tables here. 2-4, 3-6.
He
he's
might be
a
a bot. He might be a bot.
he plays a lot of tables.
Well, I don't think after today you'll forget Panda is evil and you'll look for him whenever you sit down.
King 10.
He paid for all your lessons.
Thank you.
Don't tell him that.
Just folded King 10.
Yeah. There's still a few more things to tweak with you, but you've come off of that B minus and up into that B range. You know that, sir. You know that you keep climbing up on that chart.
Am I now in the B range?
You're in the B range, buddy.
Okay, good. Make me an A plus, Al. I
You're
want to make
you're listen, you gain every week that you go out and practice and share with me and we talk about, or you come on here, or you do the videos that I send you, or anything that I send you that you read, you enhance your entire package, okay? And that's the whole idea. Even when you get to the end, you're never going to learn it all. You're never going to not make mistakes. Well, what we want to do is limit the number of mistakes that you make voluntarily, like unforced errors in tennis. We want to eliminate the unforced errors. We want to capitalize on the unforced errors of others. And you've got those tools now. We've put those tools in your tool chest: bet sizing and check raising and looking at their stack size, and just it goes on and on and on. You've got all these edges now building into your repertoire of what you can do and how you can combat. Before you were a single.
We have ace five suited, no lucky, weak raise.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he limped in, right? That's right. You're interested in isolating on lucky more than getting these other guys in. And of course, if these guys go 32, 34, you can get rid of that for $12. You see, you got to be able to tell yourself that, man, if someone comes over the top of me, I need a perfect flop to
so
beat
here's
them.
my thinking. I want to play this hand, even with $33 in front of me. I want to call and see the flop. What are your thoughts about this?
I don't want to. You have to do what you want to do. I know what I would do, and I'll tell you after you do what you want to do.
Oh, there's another $33 bet from No.
The,
Okay, so they both got strong hands. Now is the time to hopefully
you
get a
get
flop.
almost 4 to 1 on your money. Yes.
Let's see. Okay.
If that other guy didn't come in, it was an easy fold for me because
Yeah.
the other guy came in. He gave you the pot odds to see the flop, and you had to hit it really good. You didn't want to hit an ace by itself. Here you got the call. You got 10 jack against king king. Yeah, when that guy comes over the top of you, he's got a big hand. You know, you got to hit that thing really solid.
Yeah.
It's just not worth that kind of money. You know, he's telling you, and you've got to listen. You've got to listen to what when someone comes over the top. You've got to listen to them. It's okay to call. It's probably not a good idea to re-raise them. They're gonna just get you all in with a weak hand. You're
Yeah,
ace
I
five.
was more incented to call because no lucky came in also. So, 3 to 1 odds. So,
Well, no, 4 to 1 odds.
yeah.
It was $20 for you for 80. It was 4 to 1 odds. It was good odds. You know, it paid. If lucky doesn't come in, you're not getting the 4 to 1 odds there, and it's iffy because you're out of position and you've got a suited ace, but it's not the best thing in the world. You're up against a big pair there or something good. So
Okay.
all right, my
Thanks.
friend, it's been a good session. I really do appreciate it today. I'll get you a recap in the morning, and I will send you the video.
Thank you so much, Al.
You know
Thank you.
what? Are you going out to eat tonight?
Yes, I am.
Dinner always tastes better when you win.
No.
All right, take care, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye bye. Good playing. Good play.